Just go ahead and make your way up to standing mountain pose. We'll just take a few moments here as we gather ourselves, fully arrive or continue your arrival, setting up and arriving here. Just first establish a nice connection to the earth. Come on in. Creating a strong foundation for yourself. Rooted and connected. And also connect to your breath. Just find your way to your breath. Just taking slow, steady breaths in and out, just to get reacquainted with your breathing. Why don't you go? Why don't you go right behind Beth? And just to bring more energy and awareness to your breathing, breathe in so you can feel the breath rising upward to fill your lungs. Kind of a deep, expansive breath. And as you exhale, just draw your belly button in towards your spine, just connecting to your center. A light contraction of your abdominal muscles. The abdominal lock. Again, as you inhale, feel the breath rising, fill up your lungs. And the exhale, drawing belly in, connecting to your center body. And this effort of breath and standing in stillness is a way to bring you here to this moment. Letting go of the things that are going on outside of you so you can pay attention to what's going on inside of you. Our practice today is going to focus on hip mobility, a variety of poses that will help us really get into our hips, finding flexibility, mobility, and strength. Let's take 3 more breaths here. Prepare your body to move. When you're ready, inhale and extend your arms overhead. Treat it like a nice stretch. Reach all the way up. Nice. Exhale. Let's fold forward, so a good hinge from your hips. Bend your knees as much as you need to. And just make your way down towards your toes. Now you might touch your toes, but you don't have to touch your toes. And inhale, slide your hands up to your shins, your knees, and extend your spine. Really feel like you're coming forward, creating a long, flat back. Exhale, let's fold, make our way back down. We're going to hold this forward fold for a few moments. An opportunity to move inside of self once again, this honoring and bowing position, but also to get into your body a little bit more, feeling this stretch through your hamstrings, even with knees bent. Good. Noticing the rounded curvature of the spine, even a heaviness of the body. Gravity drawing you downward. Even shake out your arms. Maybe a gentle shake of the head. You might nod yes a few times, shake your head no. Even sway your whole upper body gently left and right. And just a reminder here that this is your practice. Move as you need to move, modify, use variations of poses, even different poses if it feels better for your body. Rest whenever you need to. Let's get ready to stand. Shift your weight back into your heels, bend your knees. Feel like you're about to sit down into a chair. Extend your spine. Maybe you sweep your arms out to the side and stand up tall. Reach up into the air. Inhale, good. Exhale, you can bring your hands down to your heart or arms down to your side, either one. Pause here for a breath or two. Just keep this connection. That was our half salute to the sun. We'll just do that once again. Going at your own pace. Inhale, sweeping your arms out and up. Nice lengthening through the sides of your body. Good. Exhale, fold forward. Bending the knees. Make your way down. Take your time. Never need to rush. Inhale, rise up halfway or feel the fully extended spine. Exhale, back down we go. Just a brief pause. Maybe just come to a complete release here at the end. Then your weight shift into your heels, bend your knees, long spine, extend your arms, and inhale to float your way back up. Good. Reaching into the air, and exhale, hands to heart or arms to your side. Another pause. Return to breath. Good. We'll continue with our sun salutation. Here we go. Inhale, sweep your arms out and up. Getting a little taller. Good energy in your hands and fingers. Exhale, swan dive forward. Make your way down. And inhale, rising halfway up, lengthening through the back body. Exhale, fold and bend. So you can bring your hands down to the floor out in front of you and walk or step or even hop both feet back to the back end of your mat. Hold there for a moment, just building strength in this position. You can even hold plank with your knees on the floor. You're going to breathe in. And exhale, bend your knees a little to send your hips right up into the air. This is our shortcut to downward facing dog. Good, yeah. Make some adjustments with your feet and hands, kind of stepping into place, right? So it feels okay on your shoulders, your knees, your hips. It doesn't feel like your feet are going to slip away. Okay? You can just hold in stillness or add movement here. A little pedal of the feet might feel good, stretching your calves, your toes. Notice what it feels like in the front of the foot and the shins. Good. Just a little bit to your left, thank you. Thank you. Just prepare your body to move. You're going to breathe in right where you are. And exhale, bend your knees, walk, step, or hop both feet up to the top of the mat, returning to a forward fold. Inhale, lengthening through your spine. Exhale, fold. All of those, all of that. Okay. Inhale, reverse your swan dive, coming all the way up, reaching into the air. And exhale, chair pose, Utkatasana. Sitting back into that imaginary seat, weight shift into your hips and heels, outstretched arms. Good to help with balance. We'll breathe in. And the exhale, diving out of your seat, back down towards toes, forward fold. Inhale, re-extend the spine. Feel like you're coming forward, good lengthening. Exhale, fold, bend, hands return to the earth. Walk, step, or hop, both feet back into plank pose. Again, just a pause there in your plank. Now, as before, you can take that same shortcut to downward facing dog or finish your push-up if you like. Yes, coming down to Chaturanga Dandasana. And with an inhale, maybe a cobra pose or upward facing dog. And exhale onto your toes, lifting hips into the sky. Downward facing dog. Now you can do either one of those for those transitions. You can just kind of skip that vinyasa, go right into down dog, or use that vinyasa. Let's continue with lunges. Inhale, extend right leg up behind you, reach, and exhale, step right foot up to the top of the mat. Good, take your time, left heel will turn to the floor behind you. A weight shift back into that foot so there's a balance here. Hands are light so you can inhale and hinge from hips, that's it. Rising up, first warrior. Exhale, fold, just return down to the earth, plant the hands, and slide or pull that right foot back, return to plank. Either a shortcut to down dog or finish your push-up, Chaturanga Dandasana, maybe a low cobra for your back bend, and then exhale, downward facing dog. You can always change those up as you need to. Whenever you're ready to move, and inhale to extend left leg up, straight and strong, reaching for the back wall. Exhale, stepping through, left foot to the top of the mat, right heel will turn to the ground. Be sure it has a solid connection to the earth. Light hands, inhale, hinge from hips, rising up. Here's our first warrior. And our exhale to fold, return to the earth, plant the hands, and slide the left foot back. Plank, coming down if you'd like. Chaturanga Dandasana. You can always bring knees to the floor first if you need to, then chest, upward facing dog, and exhale, downward facing dog. So arriving in this inverted posture, again, stepping into place, adjusting the hands and feet as you need to. I'm going to come to the floor here, so kneel down. I'm going to sit back briefly in hero. See if you can hold this for several seconds, intentionally feeling kind of a stretch through the knees, down through the shins, and the tops of the feet. Alrighty? And we'll go ahead and sit off to the side, swing the legs around to the front, sit in the center of your mat here, and carefully roll your way down onto your back, and feel free to draw knees into chest. And then move in a way that might feel good for you here. A little massage perhaps for your back, your hips. Even check in with your feet. You might want to circle the ankles, flex and point. Okay, just get into the joints of the body. Perfect. And go ahead and set your feet onto the floor. We're going to bridge pose. So feet on the floor, knees bent. Take a nice full breath in, fill up your lungs. Exhale, engaging, and then lift your hips off the floor. Just float right up into the air. If you need to make more adjustments, feel free. You might want to take the feet a little wider. They certainly can be wider than hip distance. You can use your hands to help lift yourself up or hold yourself up if you need to. If your blocks happen to be handy, you can slide them underneath you to sit on. Good. If your arms are straight, you can bend your elbows so your arms are at 90 degrees and press into the floor with your triceps and shoulders to help press and lift and open the front body. Let's see if that helps to stabilize the body a little bit more here too. So we are in a back bend, heart opener. Pay attention though to maybe the upper thighs, right at the belt line, and maybe the low belly. 2 more breaths. Good. After that second breath, you're just going to wiggle the feet forward a little bit, extend your arms into the air. That just makes some space so you can roll your way back down, right back down to the ground. And then a nice stretch. You can maybe extend the legs out front. Reach your arms behind you, reach in those opposite directions. There we are, good. And then draw both knees into chest. Carefully rock forward and back, or even roll to the side. We're just going to come back up to seated, so you can rock your way up or turn to your side and press yourself up. Come to seated so you can come to boat pose. And just find the variation of boat that fits your body at the moment. This is what I tend to do. So lifted feet with bent knees, active feet. You can flex your feet or point your toes. I like to hold on to the legs to really help extend the spine so I lift, because I can easily sink into this. So it's a way of lifting and maintain that extended spine. Feel free to free up the hands, but you can always hold on. You can even extend the legs if you'd like. So an in-breath just to feel the long torso. The exhale to draw belly in. There is our strength. Let's move from here, breathing in. And the exhale, let's cross legs. Hands in front if you can to hop back into plank, or just hands to the side. And just step, sweep the feet back, legs back, and come to plank pose. Just a nice strong straight line. Here we'll all just take a shortcut to downward facing dog. Let's continue with more lunges, getting more into our hips. Let's inhale, extend right leg up. Reach and hold for a moment. Feel that nice extension. And then you're going to bend your right knee. Bring your heel down towards your backside. That's it. A little bit of a lift of the knee. And you'll feel this kind of an automatic rotation or a twist and opening towards the right side of the room. You can stay just like that. But since we're getting into that hip, create a big circle in the air with your right knee. Yeah, big circle. Draw a circle. A couple times one direction and then try the other direction. It's just kind of a check-in, just see what the mobility is on this side, what it feels like. Good. Then we're going to inhale, and the exhale will unwind, so you can step that right foot up to the top of the mat or return to Warrior One. So setting it up, left heel to the floor behind you, find that balance. Hands are light, rising first Warrior. Exhale, opening it to your Warrior Two, opening to the left side of the room. Here you might want to adjust your feet, mainly for balance. Yeah. Feel tall, outstretched arms. Let's follow the right hand forward to angle the upper half of the body. Yes. And then rotate the arms here. It's a side angle pose. You can stay up high, which is what I typically do, where my hand is literally right up on my thigh here. Or you can certainly go down lower. Maybe your hand does reach the ground, or maybe you got a stack of blocks right there. Really experience the opening of the front body, hips. There's also some leg strength happening here. There we are. Let's get ready to move. Breathe in. And exhale. Carefully turn and fold. Let's bring the hands back down to the floor. Step back into plank, just to realign the body. Tapping into strength once again. Another shortcut to down dog. Soft knees, hips into the sky. Step into place. Ready for the other side, and inhale to extend left leg into the air. Reach and hold for a second. Feel the body get a little longer. Then we'll open it up. A bend of the knee, a little lift of the knee. There's that twist. Feel what's happening in the hip. Yeah, that big circle. Okay, and draw a circle in the air with the knee. See how big it can go. So you might drop that knee down and up and around. Yes, there it is. And then the other direction as you're able. Just getting some nice mobilization there. And then when you're done, inhale, and your exhale to unwind. Step through, left foot to the top of the mat, going for the lunge. Right heel turns to the floor, shifting the weight back so there's no pressure in that left knee as you rise. First Warrior. And our exhale opening to your Warrior Two. Again, making some adjustments with the feet. And let's follow the left arm forward to angle the upper half of the body. We'll rotate here, reaching high and low. Stay up high or go down low or somewhere in between. Just pay attention to the body. A lot of that focus inward, listening to what your body is saying and what it needs, and then just responding appropriately. We'll take a breath in, ready to move. And our exhale, we'll carefully turn, fold, bring the hands down to the floor. And we'll step back into plank pose. You can take that same shortcut to down dog or finish the push-up coming down, Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, up dog. With our barking dog out there. Exhale, downward facing dog. Okay. Very nice. Two more breaths, just holding this down dog position. All right, just gently set the knees onto the floor. Once again, a brief moment in hero, that same intention, just kind of stretching the tops of the feet down through the shins, around the knees. Okay, and we'll sit off to the side here. Just bring the legs around to the front. We're going to keep the legs extended. Let me see. Okay, that's good. So to start with staff pose, which is the seated position, we are taking a forward fold here. So with staff pose, legs are straight, flexed feet, hands on the floor by your hips, and just press into the floor to help assist the lengthening in your spine. Good. Even roll the shoulders back. Couple breaths here and just feel the energy in the body. Then we'll take our fold. Keeping this good energy, we'll inhale, take the arms straight up. Exhale, start to hinge a little bit, and then just bring the hands down and just let them land on your legs, just anywhere on your legs. Inhale, take another spinal extension at this angle. Exhale, draw belly in. You might step the hands down the legs as you start to fold. You can stop at any point. You don't have to go too far at all. Just notice sensation. If you have sensation in your hamstrings and it feels good, then maybe just stay there. We are going to hold this. Here's some things you can do while you're here. Now, if your knees need to bend or you want to bend them, bend them. You can even support the legs. If you have a blanket nearby, you can even just bring that blanket underneath the legs so you just have a little bit of support underneath. You might be able to touch your toes, but it's not necessary, okay? You can also round your back or lower your chin to help round your back. It creates a little bit more space in the body, so you might be able to fold a little deeper. It certainly creates a stretch quality in your back, and that might feel good. But wherever you are, just breathing deeply in and out. This is your opportunity again to listen to the body. Listen for what it is saying, what it needs. If it's saying, stay here, stay here. If it's saying, you know what, I think we've been here long enough. Maybe that's an indicator for you to soften the pose. Start to back out of it a little bit, just so that it doesn't overwhelm the body or draw stress into the body. If you have space to go a little deeper, maybe explore that. Good. 3 more breaths. As we come out of our poses, because the poses we're doing are kind of deep, so we want to slowly come out of our postures. So if you're holding onto your legs or feet, release and extend the arms forward. Then an inhale and slowly hinge your way back up so you're nice and tall, creating an L shape in the body. Good. And the exhale, just bring the arms and hands down right here. Okay? And just lean back a little bit. Step the hands back, lean back. Let's get that stretch out of the legs. Bend the knees. Let's come to a cobbler's pose so the soles of the feet are together here. Just get the hands in the right spot, because what we'll do here is just press into the ground to kind of lift the torso. Shoulders are kind of wrapped behind me, but lifting the torso so it feels like it's coming up out of the pelvis. That might open the hips a little bit more right there. And then tip the chin up just a little bit. So we went to a forward fold with legs extended to a minor back bend with the hips opened. Deep breaths. 2 more. And you can lower your chin. Just make your way back into a boat pose. You can even do boat with heels on the floor, still holding onto the legs with the angled upper body that's straight and strong. Okay, or feet floating in the sky. Okay, let's move here, breathing in first. In the exhale, cross legs, hands in front, or again to the side, so you can come back to plank pose. Before we move on, just bring your knees back down to the floor. I want you to get your props in the right spot, because we might need them. Let's get your blanket just right next to you, and your blocks just near the top of your mat somewhere. Okay, if they're behind you back there, just bring them forward towards the front end, and your blanket right next to you. Okay, and once you've got that, go ahead and return to a downward facing dog. From here, an inhale to extend your right leg up behind you. And exhale, right foot to the top of the mat. Stay there in this runner's lunge. Now we're going to kneel down. The left knee is going to come down to the floor, your mat, or bring in that blanket if it's nearby, or even just fold your mat underneath you to create some padding. And once you've got that, just rise up. So we're here. You're going to lean back just a little bit and wiggle this front foot forward, way out front. So we're changing this from a 90-degree angle to a different angle here. So we don't put any pressure on the knee because we are going to be lunging, okay? We don't want to put any pressure on the knee. You want to make sure wherever you land in this lunge that the knee stays stacked nicely over the ankle or the heel, okay? So we got that forward, and just have your hands, both hands resting on your thigh, mid-thigh. Okay, we're going to press into it carefully as you inhale and feel the torso lift. We're getting the torso to rise out of the pelvic bowl. With the exhale, we're sending the pelvis forward, gradually, slowly. There. Feel what's happening. Make any changes here up front if you need to. Another inhale, get more lift in space. Exhale as you're able, lunging. Now the taller that we are like this, we're going to be, in the deeper you are in the lunge, you're going to be in your back. Okay, it is a back bend feel. But we don't have to be there today. We're going to lean forward if you'd like. Hands can just stay right here on the thigh. Or if you can reach the floor, bring the hands down to the floor. Or if your blocks are nearby, bring in your blocks. A couple of blocks, something like this. This is our initial point, and this also can be the end point, okay? But as you're able, we can go a little deeper, and here's how we'll go a little deeper with this. Because with the leg right out front as it is, I know for me, this is about as far as my body can go, as far as the depth of the pose. Okay, here's what you can do. I'm going to bring the right hand on the inside of the right foot, move the right foot off to the right side, way out. I'm going to turn to face you for a moment. Okay, so it's going way out to the side and even turning the leg out at an angle, yes? And that creates, for me at least, a lot of space in the hip, in the pelvis. And that allows me to continue to go forward and start to come downward. I'm just bending the elbows, my hands are on the blocks. If you're able, maybe your elbows can come all the way down to the floor or a couple of stacked blocks, okay? Okay, but take your time moving to your personal depth of the pose. It does not mean you have to bring the elbows all the way down. Okay, and again, paying attention to how all of this feels. Maybe you can get here just fine, but you have a time limit. You don't want to be here too long, which might trigger stress. If that's the case, start to soften back out of the pose. There you go, okay? Honor that. Doesn't mean you're doing the pose wrong. Actually, you're doing it more correctly because you're listening. That's it. Notice the sensations. With that right leg out to the side, we're really getting into that hip. That left leg is extended out behind you, so hip flexor. Nice stretch and lengthening. 2 more breaths. Nice work here. Okay, again, this is a deep pose, so we don't want to rush to get out of it. So if you made it down to your elbows, start to lift slowly. Let's get back up onto the hands. Take your time. This is all in slow motion. Start to lift the hips up and out of the way, getting out of that deep lunge. And we start to heel toe that right foot back in, okay? And then kind of climb up the body again, just come back up to this nice tall upper body. Just kind of take this in reverse, really, okay? We are going to lean forward, place the hands on the floor, tuck your toes behind you, and lift that back knee. So we're back to that runner's lunge. But pivot that left heel to the floor behind you, root into the earth with that back foot, less weight in the hands. Inhale, rise up, first warrior. I'm just going to go through the flow again. Exhale, opening to your warrior 2. Okay? And then a side angle, reaching out, rotate the arms. Follow your left arm up and over your head towards the front of the room. Yes, breathe in, we're still moving. Exhale, turn, fold, hands to the floor. Okay, now we got that blanket there. Now you can, if you can, step over it or just swing the leg around to get behind it. That's fine. Hold, and just take a shortcut to down dog. So let's get set up for the other side. We're going to inhale, extend left leg into the air. Left foot stepping over the blanket up to the top of the mat or swing around it. Here's our runner's lunge again. So same setup. Let's set the right knee down on the mat, your blanket or folded mat for padding. Let's rise up. We're going to lean back, taking weight off that front foot so we can move that foot way out front. So when we lunge, we don't aggravate the knee at all. Hands on the thigh. We're going to inhale and feel that nice lift. Exhale, draw belly in, and here's our movement forward. Take it incrementally. Pause. Check in. Make adjustments. Inhale, more lift, more space is created. Exhale as you're able, maybe lunging a little bit more. Again, the higher you are, the deeper the lunge, more of a back bend you create. You can hold that for a few seconds, but not necessary to hold that. Feel free to lean forward to get out of the back body, eventually bringing hands to the floor or bringing those stacked blocks for a little extra support. And again, this is our initial place. You can stay just like this, or feel free to go a little deeper. We're going to do the same thing. We're going to bring the left hand to the inside of the left foot. Move that left foot off to the side, way out, turned outward at an angle, making more space. Feel like you're trying to come forward again. Okay, then make your way down. And maybe it's just a slight bend of the elbows. Maybe the elbows come down to the ground or your blocks. Settling in, take your time. One of the reasons why I like that leg position, that left leg that's off to the side and out at an angle. If you think about it, imagine yourself in happy baby pose, okay? Your legs are out and turned outward, okay? And it allows you to get deeper into the hips. So you're kind of mimicking that sensation. With deep poses like this, especially when you're holding them, be sure there's lots of breath, lots of breath. Listen and respond appropriately to the body. If you feel complete with the depth of this pose, start to ease out of it or soften it. Not allowing that stress response to take over. Wonderful. 3 more breaths. We're going to take our time, move in slow motion to make your way out of the pose. If you made it down to your elbows, slowly rise to come back up onto your hands. Press so you can lift the hips up out of that deep expression. Maybe a little lean to the right so we can heel toe this left foot back in and back a little bit, back to its original spot. And go ahead and rise up here too, just so we can get that re-extension of the spine for a moment. Then our fold so we can bring the hands to the floor. Tuck toes, lift the knee off the blanket. There's our runner's lunge. But pivot right heel to the floor. Ready for your warrior 1. Inhale, rising up, reaching into the sky. Exhale, open it to your warrior 2. Make some adjustments. Here comes side angle, reach out. Rotate the arms, follow right arm over your head. So you get that stretch and lengthening through the right side of your body. We're breathing in. In the exhale, we're carefully turning, bringing the hands back down to the floor. Step over that blanket or just swing around it, that's fine. Plank pose. You can even go through the full vinyasa here. It's okay if you touch the blanket, or another shortcut to downward facing. You can slide your blanket out of the way. You can come down to your knees if you need to and slide that out of the way. Let's just go through just another another sequence here, just to keep movement in the body. Rest if you need to. But here we go. Inhale, extend right leg up. Bend and twist. Good. Big circles in the air with the knee. A couple of times one direction, then try the other direction. Check in with the mobility. Good. Inhale to kind of reopen, then exhale, unwind, step through, right foot to the top of the mat, go at your own pace. Left heel turns to the floor, find that strong foundation, rise up first warrior, exhale, opening to your warrior 2. Once you've arrived in your warrior 2 and kind of quickly adjusted for balance, we're going to take that right foot forward, tiny little wiggles forward once or twice, doesn't have to be much, same with that back foot. Okay, and just to take us a little bit deeper. You don't have to go too far to go deep. Okay, then here's our side angle. Reach out. Maybe you can reach out a little bit more. Rotate. Maybe the right hand gets a little closer to the ground, but still welcome to stay up high. Listen to your body. Breathe in. Feel a little bit more opening. Exhale. We're going to carefully turn, fold, Okay, rise up onto tiptoes behind you. Listen. Well, I guess we do need that blanket again. Slide that blanket back in underneath you. Rest the left knee onto the ground. Now we need a block, actually 2 blocks. Take 2 blocks, one in each hand. Follow me. Okay? You can even turn them up high if you need to. We're going to use these, I'm going to call them walking sticks. We're going to sit back. We're sitting back. I'm calling this half hero. Okay, just sitting back. Now that right hip is going to be much higher than the other side, so you might take one of those blocks and place it underneath you, turn it to the right height to sit. Okay, yes. Okay. And we're going to flex this right foot. Actually, you can, either one, you can point or flex, whatever feels good. We're going to inhale, get some extension to the spine. Exhale, start to hinge until you feel some sensation in the leg. For me, you don't have to go very far. I feel this. Okay. So we're not going to be here too long, but just experience the sensation. 3 more breaths, that's all. You're rising back up if you're folding. Okay. We're going to make our way back up to this left knee and right foot. Okay. So a little push into the floor or blocks to help that. Let's grab those walking sticks again, right here. Just keep them there for a moment, I guess. Hands down to the floor. Tuck toes behind you. Lift that knee. Push more into the floor with the hands. Lift your hips and see if you can step or swing that right foot back behind you. Return to plank. Okay, finish your sequence as you like. Again, it could just be a shortcut to down dog or go through a vinyasa. Chaturanga, up dog to down dog. That's the flow, that's the vinyasa. Other side, inhale, extend left leg into the sky, bend and twist. Big circles with the knee, checking in with that mobility. Yes, and the functionality of the leg. Inhale. And the exhale to unwind, we'll step through. Left foot to the top of the mat. Stay there. Got your blanket. Right knee will come to the ground. All right, use the walking sticks to help you walk back. So we're going to sit back into what I'm calling our half hero. Okay, use that block underneath the left cheek. Right there, so our hips are aligned. Oops, feels good. Flexed foot or pointed toes. Inhale, get nice and tall, just pressing into the floor or use blocks right there. Exhale, hinge until you feel. Be mindful of how far you fold. Because of the left leg, because we're lifted on that side, that leg, that knee can kind of get down a little too low. We don't want to hyperextend. So make sure there's a little bit of softness in the left knee there. 2 more breaths. When you're complete, we're just going to rise back up, nice and tall. Make our way back onto the right knee and left foot. Use the blocks. Press, lift. Okay. Hands out front. Tuck toes behind you. Lift that right knee. So we're in that lunge. Press into the floor. Strong hands and arms so you can pick up the left foot, step over the blanket, or swing it around. Just step back, plank pose. And again, finish your vinyasa. That's it. Meeting in downward facing dog. Wonderful. A breath or 2 in down dog. Okay. We're going to take another seat. So you can just bring your knees to the floor, take a seat. Just take any comfortable seat. So I can do a little bit more up here. So just getting into the hips, especially the hip flexors, hamstrings. Let's see if that can now take us to Hanumanasana, which is a front splits. Okay? And we are going to use these props again. I'm going to slide this back a little bit. Okay? Let me demonstrate it and how we can use these props. Okay? So you need floor space, either by your side or out in front of you. Okay? And you'll see why in a moment. I'm going to do my left foot first because my left leg isn't as flexible as my right. So I'm coming back to this position we did earlier. I've got a couple blocks underneath me. I call this my tower of support. Okay? okay? Because my hamstrings are going to rest on the seat, and I can even turn these higher if I needed to, okay? I think I'm going to do about that height, and then the other 2 blocks are my walking sticks, okay? You can even pad this other knee. You can just fold your mat underneath it if you need extra padding. Just watch. So I'm going to slowly start to fold or slide and walk my blocks forward. I need to move these blocks because I want to make sure they're underneath my hamstring. Okay, I'm just going to go a little further. Now let's say my leg doesn't reach the blocks, and maybe this is the end of the pose. Stay here. Just use the blocks for support. I can go a little lower here. I'm just moving my blocks right about there. And I can actually get to a point where I'm just literally sitting. I'm just sitting, okay, on the blocks there. But I'm using these other blocks on the hands to help support. Because this is a back bend, I want to push into the blocks to lift, so I'm getting out of that compressed spine, that low back lumbar area. I want to make space if I'm going to create the back bend. Okay? If you have the strength, you can hug the legs in, okay, squeezing inward, maybe releasing the blocks and taking the arms overhead. That's Hanuman. Okay? You can even play with this, maybe get out of that back bend, fold a little bit, or come really low if you can. I cannot. Okay? So we'll be here for about 20 minutes. Okay. Again, I'll bring the cookies in, okay? To get out of it, I'm pressing into the blocks, core engagement with an exhale, so I can pull and slide out of the position. All righty? Who needs more blocks? Marriott needs more blocks. So let's all do right foot first. Do you have space out in front of you or to the side of you? So bring that blanket out front or to the side. Your right foot's going to be out there. Use a couple of blocks for a tower of support. Okay, the other 2 blocks. Oh, you need more blocks. Okay. Okay.
Someone else needs it.
Just in case. Okay. Your walking sticks. Okay. Slowly start to walk forward, slide forward. Pause. Check in with the tower of support. Okay, those are the blocks underneath that right leg. Okay. Turn them up a little higher if you need to. Okay. So that you can feel quite supported and be able to sit. Okay, at some point. And feel kind of relaxed. Well, I think what's kind of unique about doing the splits this way is not only do you have the front leg out front, you have that back leg straight back. Okay. Okay, and I think that's much more challenging than perhaps doing a splits where the back leg does an outer rotation, okay, and doing something like this, okay. So something quite unique with this yogic way of doing the splits, Hanumanasana. So get out of the back bend if you need to by leaning forward. Of course, that's going to put more stretch in the hamstring. Engaging by squeezing the legs to midline. It's a lot of hip work, pushing or squeezing in. So maybe the hands can reach up if you want. You can just try it, but you can always just bring the hands right back down. Yes, good. Good job. Continue to listen to the body. 5 more breaths. Good. When you're ready to come out of the pose, we're pushing the hands down into your walking sticks. Engage core with an exhale, lifting the hips so you can slide or pull that blanket back. Alrighty. And maybe let's bring that leg back and just take some kind of neutralizing, comfortable position for a moment. Okay, yeah, it might even be a child's pose or cat-cow, just whatever you feel like your body needs at this moment after that pretty dynamic splits. Nice. Good. Yeah, take your time. Whatever you need to do there before we get to the other side. continue what you're doing. Certainly no rush to get to the other side, but you're basically just going to be doing the same thing. Okay, whenever you're ready, you're coming back up onto your knees. Maybe you'll pad your right knee so you can step your left foot onto your slippy slidey pad. Get your tower of support for your hamstrings and then your walking sticks. Start in a nice, tall, nicely aligned position, because that's how we did those other poses when we did that, the lunge forward, and we sat back, okay? Now we're just taking the legs both directions, right? Okay, start to slide forward, pause, adjust, check in, because you don't have to go into the pose all at once. Let the body get used to where you are now before you take the next step. There you go, good. Squeezing to center, it's like engaging the legs and trying to squeeze to the middle line. If you decide to take the arms up. Good. Nice. Get out of the back bend if you need to by slightly leaning forward. Notice if the body is responding in a way where space is created. That does take a bit of softening or relaxing into the pose. So maybe that allows you to go a little deeper without forcing. Well done. Good. About 3 more breaths. Pushing down into your walking sticks. Engage the core with a good exhale. Pull hips up and back, sliding the foot back. And again, finding a nice neutral position for the body. No rush to move. Stay as you need to stay. Our next posture will be on our backs. So when you're ready to move, you can just lift and kind of flip yourself over so you can lie on your backs. Or sitting in the center of your mat. Lying down, hug knees in. Again, some movement here for a bit of a massage, and that might feel quite nice. Since that Hanumanasana, that splits posture, not only involves the legs, it's your back, because it's a back bend too. So maybe here in this rounded sensation, some massaging for the back and hips. Again, check in with the feet. Circle, flex, and point. Wiggle your toes if you can. And from here, a hip opener. I'll give you several options. The first one, you just take the legs wide. I call this just frog on its back. Just taking the legs wide for an inner leg stretch. Then you can also kick the feet up into the air, hold onto the soles of the feet for happy baby pose. You can also do reclining cobbler's pose, where you bring the feet together. You can just hold onto the feet in the air or bring the feet to the ground. Okay, so you've got some options. You can do several of those, or all of those, or one of those. Okay, so we got our frog on its back, happy baby pose, reclining cobbler's pose. So if you are in happy baby pose, this is what I was referencing when we were doing those deep lunges. So your legs are out and wide and knees are out at an angle. Okay, so it allows you to go deeper. It feels different if you had the knees together and drawing them in towards your chest. Okay. Two more breaths. Releasing. Our next pose is a back bend. You can just do a bridge pose again. Knees bent, feet flat on the floor, hips lifting. You can make it dynamic like we did, while you're just kind of holding yourself up, or you can have it more of a supported bridge by, you have to get out of the pose, but get a block or two and sit on a block or a couple of blocks, just so you can just sit and kind of relax in the back bend. You can certainly do a wheel pose, full back bend, or even fish pose. Something that's heart opening. There you go, nice. There you go. Two more breaths. Good. Carefully make your way out of your back bend. Go ahead and extend your body. Once you've made it back down to the earth, extend the legs out front, reach your arms behind you, a nice alignment and a nice stretch. Last pose will be a twist. So you can bring the knees in to your body, another hug right there. Start by taking the knees over to the left side, knees over to the left, while your right arm extends to the right side of the room. Yeah, there's lots of variations you can do that. Two more breaths on this first side, or stay here longer if it feels good for you. When you feel complete, return to center. Pause in center so you have that opportunity to realign the spine. And the knees to the right side, left arm to the left. Perhaps two more breaths on this side. Good. And eventually making your way back to center. We'll finish in Savasana or any other restorative posture. So legs out front, arms down by your side. Use your prop. Since you have the blanket there, if you need something soft to lie on or sit on, feel free to use it. If you want to elevate your legs, you can use the blocks in the blanket. If you want to choose a different position, maybe you want to lie on your side or come up to seated, feel free. Just finding the pose where you can feel completely relaxed, come to stillness. Just for the next few moments, take the time for meditation. Return to the awareness of your breath. Simply notice your breath. And with this awareness of breath, take 5 slow, steady breaths, generating a new energy within you. And feel it resonate through your entire body. Begin to feel movement return to your body. And when you're ready, taking your time, roll onto one side of your body. Briefly here in this nurturing pose. And then guide your way up to seated. Nice and tall in your seat, relax shoulders and arms. Your hands can rest in your lap or bring hands to heart center, either one. Wherever you are, just taking one more full breath in and out. As we come to the close of our practice, we bow together saying, Namaste. Thank you so much for watching and participating in this yoga lesson. To help us with the channel so we can continue to bring you more content, please like the video and subscribe to the channel. It's really appreciated. Namaste.